Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, why do I feel weaker than I used to? Maybe it's harder to lift a grocery bag, or maybe getting up from a chair takes a little more effort than it did a few years ago. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. After age 60, many people begin to experience muscle loss, a condition known as sarcopenia. It's often blamed on aging itself, like a natural part of getting older. But here's the truth, muscle loss is not inevitable. In fact, with the right nutrients, your muscles can rebuild, stay strong, and even grow well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Across the United States, studies show that nearly 1 in 3 older adults lives with undiagnosed sarcopenia, often assuming it's just normal aging. But researchers from universities like Tufts, Illinois, and Purdue have revealed a very different story. Muscle decline isn't caused by time passing, it's caused by a lack of the right building blocks in your diet. These blocks are found not in expensive supplements or protein powders, but in everyday foods you can find at any local grocery store. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 7 everyday foods that help rebuild muscle after 60. These are backed by real research and real results. They're gentle on digestion, affordable, and surprisingly effective. And we'll begin with one of the most misunderstood foods of all, whole eggs. For years, eggs have been caught in a tug-of-war between praise and fear. Some people love them, others worry about cholesterol. But if you're over 60 and trying to maintain or rebuild muscle, whole eggs might just be the most powerful food you can put on your plate. Why? Because eggs contain leucine, an amino acid that acts like a light switch for muscle building. Think of leucine as the key that turns on the engine of protein synthesis in your body. And among all natural foods, whole eggs have one of the highest concentrations of leucine, about 1.4 grams per large egg. Now here's where it gets interesting. Researchers at the University of Illinois discovered that whole eggs' yolk included stimulate muscle protein synthesis 45% more than egg whites alone. That's despite both having the same amount of protein. What's the difference? It turns out that the yolk isn't just extra calories. It contains cofactors that help your body absorb and use the protein far more efficiently. In other words, the yolk makes the protein work better. This surprised even the scientists behind the study, who admitted it challenged long-held assumptions about eggs and muscle health. But the benefits don't stop there. Egg yolks also contain choline, a nutrient your body needs, to make acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps your muscles receive signals from your brain. Without enough choline, muscle strength and coordination decline, even if your muscles look the same from the outside. Harvard researchers found that older adults with higher choline intake had 40% better muscle coordination and stability, which is especially important for reducing falls and improving quality of life. Eggs also have the ideal amino acid profile, meaning your body can use nearly every gram of protein they contain with almost no waste. In fact, eggs are so efficient that scientists gave them a perfect score of 100 on the protein utilization scale, a rating very few foods achieve. If you're wondering when to eat them, here's a simple tip: eat eggs in the morning. Researchers at Purdue University found that eating eggs at breakfast had what they called a muscle memory effect. It primed muscles to use protein more efficiently throughout the entire day. And for the best results, go for soft-boiled or poached eggs. The slightly runny yolk indicates the proteins are gently denatured, which makes them easier to absorb without destroying the nutrients. Pair your eggs with vegetables like bell peppers or tomatoes to boost vitamin C intake, which improves iron absorption from the yolk. And if you prefer scrambled, just cook them on low heat with a bit of butter or coconut oil to protect the fat-soluble vitamins. Try to get in at least 2 whole eggs each morning, ideally within 30 minutes of waking. This helps break the overnight muscle breakdown that happens during sleep and jumpstarts your body's ability to build and maintain lean mass. Whole eggs are more than just breakfast, they're a complete muscle rebuilding package. And unlike powders or pills, your body knows exactly how to use them. Let's move now from eggs to a food that's small in size but massive in power: hemp seeds. These tiny seeds have quietly earned a reputation among researchers as one of the most complete and absorbable sources of plant-based protein on the planet. What makes them so special, especially for people over 60, is how efficiently the body uses their protein. Unlike many animal proteins that require strong stomach acid and multiple enzymes to break down, hemp seed protein, particularly a compound called edestin, is almost identical to the proteins found in your blood plasma. This means your body doesn't just recognize it, it embraces it. Up to 95% of the protein in hemp seeds gets absorbed and used for tissue repair, compared to just 50 or 60% from sources like chicken or beans. For older adults with reduced digestive strength, this is a game changer. When your stomach acid production naturally decreases with age, your ability to digest tough proteins declines. But hemp seeds bypass many of those limitations, delivering highly usable amino acids right where your muscles need them most. Just 3 tablespoons a day provide around 10 grams of complete protein and all 9 essential amino acids your body can't produce on its own. One of those amino acids, arginine, plays a particularly important role. Arginine helps produce nitric oxide, a compound that widens blood vessels and improves circulation. And better blood flow means more nutrients can reach your muscle tissues, while waste products get cleared out more efficiently. In fact, a study from Italy found that older adults supplementing with arginine gained 12% more lean muscle mass over just 8 weeks. Hemp seeds are also rich in anti-inflammatory fats. Their omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is about 3 to 1, the sweet spot researchers say is optimal for muscle health. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the leading causes of muscle breakdown as we age. But maintaining that balanced fatty acid ratio, like the one found naturally in hemp seeds, can help reduce muscle fatigue and soreness while improving strength over time. Just remember, heat destroys the delicate omega-3 seconds in hemp seeds, so never cook them. Instead, sprinkle them on top of your salad, mix them into yogurt, or blend them into a smoothie. For best results, store them in the freezer to keep them fresh and prevent oxidation. And here's a simple idea. Make a daily muscle-boosting mix using equal parts hemp seeds, chia seeds, and pumpkin seeds. 2 tablespoons of this blend in the morning and again at night can work wonders for your energy recovery and long-term muscle strength. Now let's turn our attention to a grain that's been cultivated for thousands of years in the mountains of South America: quinoa. Often mistaken for a simple side dish, quinoa is far more than just an alternative to rice. It's the only grain that contains all 9 essential amino acids in exactly the right proportions your muscles need to grow. This makes it what scientists call a complete protein. Its biological value, a measure of how efficiently your body converts food protein into muscle protein, is rated at 83. That's higher than most legumes and even higher than beef, which scores around 80. But quinoa has another secret weapon: a group of natural plant compounds called ecdysteroids. Russian scientists first studied these compounds while researching how insects could lift many times their body weight. Later they discovered that when given to humans, ecdysteroids enhanced protein synthesis in muscle cells by up to 20% without the side effects of synthetic muscle enhancers. And quinoa is one of the richest natural sources of these ecdysteroids. Quinoa also excels in one of the most commonly missing amino acids in plant-based diets: lysine. Without enough lysine, your body can't build or repair muscle efficiently. 1 cup of cooked quinoa contains over 440 milligrams of lysine, which is nearly double what you'd get from brown rice. For older adults who prefer a plant-forward diet or struggle with red meat digestion, quinoa fills the gap perfectly. To maximize quinoa's benefits, rinse it thoroughly before cooking to remove saponins, which are natural compounds that can interfere with nutrient absorption. Toasting the dry grains in a pan for just 2 minutes before boiling not only deepens the flavor but also boosts antioxidant activity. Try cooking quinoa in bone broth instead of water to add extra minerals and amino acids. You can even add a splash of apple cider vinegar while it cooks. This helps increase your body's absorption of calcium and magnesium by up to 30%. Whether you use it as a base for grain bowls, mix it into hearty soups, or make a warm breakfast porridge with nuts and berries, quinoa provides lasting fuel and muscle-building support throughout the day. Aim for 1 cup of cooked quinoa at least 5 times per week, and your muscles will thank you 1 spoonful at a time. While quinoa provides sustained energy and plant-based protein, let's now look at something creamy, delicious, and surprisingly powerful for aging muscles. Greek yogurt. Often thought of as just a breakfast item or a light snack, full-fat Greek yogurt is actually one of the most effective natural foods for preserving and rebuilding muscle after the age of 60. And it's not just about protein, it's about the type of protein and what comes with it. Greek yogurt contains a unique combination of 2 proteins, whey and casein. Whey acts fast, triggering muscle protein synthesis almost immediately after you eat. Casein, on the other hand, digests slowly, forming a gel in the stomach that releases amino acids over several hours. This 1-to-2 punch means your muscles get both an immediate boost and a long-lasting supply of building blocks, especially important when your body's natural protein response becomes slower with age. Researchers at McMaster University tested this effect in older adults doing resistance training. They gave one group Greek yogurt and the other group the same amount of protein from other foods. After 12 weeks, the yogurt group had gained 40% more muscle mass than the control group. The results were clear. Greek yogurt wasn't just convenient, it was biologically more effective. But the magic doesn't stop at protein. Greek yogurt also contains live probiotic cultures, friendly bacteria that help your gut absorb nutrients more efficiently. And this matters more than you might think. A study out of South Korea found that certain probiotic strains in yogurt actually produce conjugated linoleic acids, or CLAs. These compounds have been shown to stimulate muscle growth at a cellular level. In fact, older adults with higher levels of these specific probiotics experienced 52% less muscle loss over 3 years compared to those without them. Greek yogurt is also an excellent source of leucine, the amino acid that acts like a switch for muscle building. Just 1 cup provides about 2.5 grams of leucine, very close to the 3 grams needed per meal to optimally stimulate protein synthesis. Add a tablespoon of hemp seeds or a handful of almonds, and you'll hit that target easily. The best time to eat Greek yogurt is within 30 minutes after physical activity. This is when your muscles are most hungry for nutrients and more responsive to growth signals. Mix it with frozen berries for antioxidants that reduce exercise-related muscle damage, and add a teaspoon of raw honey for a touch of natural sugar. This helps drive amino acids into muscle tissue more efficiently. But don't stop at just 1 serving a day. Eating a second cup before bed provides slow-releasing casein protein, which protects your muscles during the long overnight fast. Look for brands with live active cultures, no added sugars, and full fat content. Your muscles and your taste buds will thank you. Next, let's turn to a humble legume that's been a staple in many cultures for centuries: lentils. These tiny powerhouses are often overlooked, but they offer a unique set of benefits for older adults trying to protect their strength. Red lentils in particular are easy to cook, easy to digest, and surprisingly rich in muscle-supporting nutrients. Lentils provide a steady stream of plant-based protein, about 18 grams per cup when cooked. But what makes them especially helpful is the way that protein is released. Unlike fast-acting proteins that spike and crash, lentils digest slowly, releasing amino acids over the course of several hours. This keeps your body in a longer state of muscle building, or what scientists call the anabolic window. In contrast, whey protein, for example, tends to act quickly and fade within 2 hours. Lentils feed your muscles more like a time-release capsule. They're also packed with resistant starch, a special type of carbohydrate that doesn't break down in the small intestine. Instead, it travels to the colon, where it's fermented by beneficial gut bacteria into short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Research out of Japan shows that butyrate not only reduces muscle inflammation by up to 60%, but it also improves insulin sensitivity in muscle cells. This means your muscles become more effective at absorbing nutrients, something that becomes increasingly important with age. Lentils also deliver 16 grams of fiber per cup, which slows glucose absorption and helps prevent the blood sugar spikes that can damage muscle tissue over time. In diabetic seniors, the addition of lentils to daily meals improved muscle function by 28% over 6 months, according to a Canadian study. To get the most out of lentils, soak dry beans for at least 12 hours before cooking. This reduces anti-nutrients that can block protein absorption. Try cooking them with a strip of kombu seaweed for added minerals and season with warming spices like cumin and coriander. These not only enhance flavor, but also support digestion, an insight backed by both Ayurvedic tradition and modern research. A big batch of lentil soup can last all week and become a comforting, muscle-friendly meal during colder months. Aim to eat at least 1 cup of cooked lentils 4 times a week. It's a simple, affordable habit that delivers long-term strength for your muscles, your metabolism, and your overall vitality. Let's move from the world of lentils to something a little more unexpected: tempeh. If you've never heard of it, tempeh is a traditional fermented food from Indonesia, made by pressing cooked soybeans into a firm cake-like shape. And while it might not be a regular item in most American kitchens, it's quickly gaining recognition for its unique benefits, especially for people over 60 who are trying to protect their muscles and improve digestion at the same time. What makes tempeh so effective isn't just its protein content, it's the way that protein is processed by your body. During fermentation, beneficial bacteria break down the soybeans, making the protein much easier to digest and absorb. This matters a lot for older adults, since stomach acid production decreases by as much as 40% with age, making it harder to break down and use regular proteins like chicken or beef. But tempeh's protein comes already pre-digested by nature, meaning it slips through your system and goes straight to your muscles with less digestive effort. Each 100-gram serving of tempeh delivers around 20 grams of complete protein, including all 9 essential amino acids your body needs. But it's not just about protein. Tempeh contains a natural compound called genistein, a type of isoflavone that binds to estrogen receptors in muscle tissue. This is especially helpful for postmenopausal women who experience a natural drop in estrogen levels that can lead to faster muscle loss. A study from the University of Illinois found that older women who consumed soy isoflavones, like those in tempeh, lost 50% less muscle mass over a 2-year period compared to those who didn't. Men benefit too, as genistein helps regulate testosterone's effect on muscle health, supporting hormone balance as we age. Tempeh is also rich in natural probiotics from the fermentation process. These healthy bacteria not only support your gut, they also help your body absorb amino acids more efficiently. Researchers at Stanford University discovered that seniors with healthy gut microbiomes absorbed 42% more amino acids from food compared to those with weaker gut health. This means better digestion leads to better muscles. To prepare tempeh for maximum benefit, steam it for about 10 minutes before cooking to make it even more digestible. Then, slice it thin and pan fry in a bit of coconut oil until golden brown. Coconut oil contains medium-chain triglycerides, which provide fast energy for your muscles without putting stress on your digestive system. For extra muscle support, season your tempeh with turmeric and black pepper. These two spices, commonly used in Indian cooking, can increase protein absorption by up to 20% according to modern research. Try eating tempeh 3 times per week with servings of around 150 grams. It works well in stir-fries, sandwiches, or crumbled into pasta sauces. Now let's finish this list with a food that might surprise you: sardines. Yes, those tiny canned fish that many people ignore in the grocery store may actually be one of the most powerful muscle foods available, especially for older adults. Sardines are incredibly nutrient-dense and provide several key compounds your muscles need, not just to grow, but to function properly over time. First, sardines are packed with high-quality protein. A small can contains about 25 grams, making them one of the most convenient protein sources you can keep in your pantry. But the real magic lies in the nutrients that come along with the protein. Sardines have some of the highest natural levels of vitamin D3 of any food, about 350 international units per can. That's significant because vitamin D plays a critical role in helping your muscles synthesize protein. Without enough vitamin D, your body can't use dietary protein effectively no matter how much you eat. A study from Tufts University showed that older adults with sufficient vitamin D levels built muscle 65% more efficiently than those who were deficient. That's a huge difference. Sardines also provide omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, which reduce inflammation at the cellular level. Chronic inflammation is a silent contributor to muscle loss in aging, and these omega-3 seconds help reverse that process by making muscle cells more responsive to growth signals. Japanese researchers even found that older adults who consumed EPA and DHA regularly had muscle cells that behaved more like those of people 20 years younger. But there's another hidden gem inside sardines: coenzyme Q10. This compound supports the mitochondria, which are your cell's energy factories. As we age, our CoQ10 levels decline, which can make our muscles feel weak and slow to recover. Sardines contain about 6 milligrams of CoQ10 per serving, enough to support better energy production and endurance in daily life. For the best results, eat sardines straight from the can with the soft bones included. Those tiny bones are full of calcium and phosphorus, which support proper muscle contraction. If the taste is too strong at first, try sardines packed in tomato sauce. The acidity helps mask the flavor and adds a bonus antioxidant called lycopene. Aim to eat sardines 2 to 3 times per week. Mix them into salads with olive oil and lemon juice, or mash them onto whole grain toast with sliced avocado. Interestingly, the healthy fat in avocado helps your body absorb the vitamin D even better. With just one can, you're giving your body a unique combination of protein, vitamins, healthy fats, and cell-level support, all for less than $3. Now that we've covered all 7 foods, let's recap what they offer. Whole eggs provide the perfect protein with leucine and choline to trigger muscle growth and coordination. Hemp seeds deliver highly absorbable protein and anti-inflammatory omega fats. Quinoa adds complete plant protein and natural anabolic compounds. Greek yogurt gives both fast and slow protein plus probiotics that help your body use nutrients more efficiently. Lentils offer steady protein release and support gut health with butyrate. Tempeh helps balance hormones and digestion, while sardines bring vitamin D, omega-3 seconds, and CoQ10 to energize and protect your muscles. Each food works in a different way, but together they form a powerful muscle support system. They don't require powders or pills, just consistency. Eat them regularly and your body will respond. It's not about changing your entire diet overnight. Just start with one. Maybe eggs in the morning or hemp seeds in your smoothie, then add another. Over time, your plate becomes your strength plan. Most of all, remember, this muscle loss isn't just aging, it's often undernourishment. And that means it's reversible. These 7 foods are simple, natural, and backed by real science. Thousands of older adults have already rebuilt strength with them, and so can you. So now I'd love to know, Which food from this list have you avoided in the past? Are you ready to give it another try, and which one will you start with this week? Share your answer in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to begin. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, your muscles aren't gone. They're just waiting for the right fuel to come back to life.